1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Welcome back to Red Rising. This is Craig, Sam, Nick, and Liz. We are deep in Golden Sun this season, and on this episode, we dissect chapters 12 through 18, breaking down the iconic gala duel between Cassius and Darrow, and of course, the fallout from it. We get into whether the Sovereign showed her hand too soon, get more visual into Lysander, and cheer the long-awaited reunion between Darrow and Severo, as orchestrated by Mustang, to Craig's chagrin. We may be biased, but this section is absolutely in the running for our favorite in the trilogy. In summary, the tension is high, the politics are ruthless, and the chaos is very much escalating. The following conversation contains major spoilers for Pierce Brown's Red Rising trilogy. Pierce Brown, come on the podcast. The series also includes depictions of graphic violence, torture, slavery, sexual violence, and genocide. Listener discretion is advised.
All right.
Are
we feeling ready and awake, everybody?
No. Hey, when we're all done with like all our spring trips and stuff, we should do like a Red Rising get together at some point.
Yeah.
Like
a themed retreat.
Yeah.
Yeah, themed retreat with like fans can come. These are just all of our moms, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, my whole family. They'll have no idea what the Red Rising reference is.
That's true.
Wait, is Giannis listening too?
Actually, great point. No, Giannis is not listening.
Okay, I was gonna say if we got Giannis listening, then we have made it.
I think Giannis would love this book.
So yeah, no, he really very much reads to relax, and this book would not relax, and it would be far too stressful.
All right. Well,
That's
to each
fair.
their own.
It is a bit, there's a lot of deaths and violently.
There are a lot of death and violence. But we're on season 2, episode 3, break, and it's Liz on the mic.
Yes. So we return, Darrow returns after his dance monologue and has decided that he no longer wants to blow up, the gala. And so he challenges, he gets into a bit of a thing with he challenges Cassius to a formal duel at the gala, and then this kind of turns into everybody that has like a feud with every family gets into their own fight just to kind of resolve their own problems. We kind of get a throwback to, or we reunite a little bit with Lilith, who we haven't seen since Red Rising. And then as Darrow kind of wins the duel, we'll get into the details later, we kind of realize that the Sovereign is not as impartial as she seems, because she does change the rules of the duel before Cassius is truly defeated. And as everybody's trying to leave, they discover that they actually cannot leave because all of their ships have been sent away. And so they are kind of all hostages of the Sovereign. And the Sovereign locks up the Archgovernor, Nero Augustus. And we see that what's her name? Mustang has a plan, and she actually does rescue. She gets the Howlers back together, and they rescue Darrow. And so on their escape, he has, what's his name? He has the Octavia's nephew, Lysander. Thank you. They have Lysander as a hostage, and they're trying to leave. And as they are about to leave, Aja is right next to them. Quinn is his backup as he's taken Lysander up, and then Aja does kind of attack Quinn in the process, and that is where we end with chapters 12 to 18.
I keep forgetting we're splitting parts into 2 because I'm
part A, part B.
Yeah.
Excellent
All
summary
right.
of a lot of stuff.
Thanks.
Excellent summary.
I try to keep it
we've
high
been waiting
level.
We've been waiting for this since before book 1 to be like, what's a 5? What's a 5 out of 5 moment?
Yeah.
And we get a bunch of them.
Yeah.
in this part of the book here.
So much happens in this. Yeah.
Did anybody notice on Narrow watch?
Don't think I didn't notice. I'm waiting. I'm over here just like bursting.
Do you want to start with Narrow watch?
I would love to start with Narrow watch. Narrow gets a call out in our peak scene, pinnacle of this little part too, just so good. Darrow says, "I was taught to move by my uncle and to fight by a legend." And he talks about how as he's doing his surprise, I'm a really good fighter, he's dancing, and it is
He's
like the reaping
dancing.
dance, and that's what his uncle taught him to do, and that's what red dudes do is they dance really well.
They dance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Confidently. We love
Yeah.
It sounds
I
a bit
love
like
that.
capoeira.
It does kind of.
it. Ah, that's a deep cut reference to martial arts.
To the 2000s.
I'm really more referencing Bob's Burgers.
Oh,
But yeah, no, it is actually more
Haven't
of a
seen it.
reference to martial arts. But
and he says, inside me, red meets gold, which is like
Mhm.
a dope moment.
It is dope.
I love
But
it.
can I just very briefly rewind to a less dope moment? And it's right before this. Darrow needs to stop talking about what he did in high school. I feel like that is so
He did.
embarrassing to be constantly talking about what you did in high school. And I feel like that
Yeah.
he's like, I united all the houses. I overtook
Oh.
Olympus. And it's like, bruh.
Yeah. It was 2 years ago.
Yeah, and 2 years ago, and I feel like boss told you, like, "You gotta stop talking like that, like, no one's gonna respect you," and he's still doing it. But then, of course, we have this great moment, which we can discuss now, and Uncle Nero was a part of it.
Mm.
So, that's a very proud Nero watch for us.
Can we just
Very
take a
good.
second to on that, like talking about what you did in high school? Darrow is so melodramatic, and I love it. But he is like, hey, I'm just gonna stomp up on this table, boots and
No.
everything.
No, I love it. I love it, and it's all a show. It's all an act. I mean, he just before he
yeah.
jumps up, right? He's like, I don't have to deal with politics anymore. All I need to do is
Trump impression.
sorry, wait. All he needs to do is like be kinetic energy again.
Yeah,
I love
and
this.
I think it is
chapter.
literally and purposefully melodramatic.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
that
yeah,
he is
definitely.
putting that show on. But he also is naturally melodramatic. I wanna make sure
Yeah.
that you're
That's
validating
true.
that.
That's true.
He's just playing up that aspect of his personality.
Yeah, I mean, I was like cringe when he was basically begging Nero, right? Augustus, and he was like, "Oh, bend," and he's like, all basically just like, take me back," and I'm like, Jesus, Darrow,
Yeah.
calm yourself.
He's like, I weep for your blessing.
yeah. It's like, okay.
It's great though, because of course Augustus loves
Yes,
that.
this is
right?
true. He is feeding into his ego with that. Yeah,
Mm.
but yeah.
But also, that's kind of like how like this is. There are so many like points to what Darrow's doing here, and one of the biggest ones is that he's trying to win favor back with Nero, right? And so it's a bit weird, but it's also a bit like it has to kind of remind you why he's really doing this. It's also personal,
Yeah.
even though not really, but still.
I know. I put a
Personal.
note. I was like, is he mocking the golds, or is he like actually like buying into this when he's like, because it's
Or-
almost like he takes on a new personality to like do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess what maybe he is. I feel like he's not. I feel like he's just gotten that good at that's his role, right? But I think it could be argued that he's mocking them for sure, and he's doing such a good job of it that they don't notice.
I think the text is supposed to lead us to believe that he's just like got this. He's doing like from a sociological standpoint what he knows is effective within the society. So
Yeah.
he's like playing the game to the full extent that he can. And this is our like we said, is this still our favorite scene? Like the duel aspect of it was our favorite. So what did you guys think about the duel this read through?
I was supposed to go because I got a lot to say.
See, it's eerily quiet, and I know that's not because we don't have stuff to talk about. I feel like we're holding back a little bit.
All right,
Go
I
ahead,
want to
let
talk
it
about
loose, Craig.
I want to talk about suspense and build up. This chapter of all the chapters that we have seen so far is incredible when we get to this, right? So we have the big, he jumps 30 feet onto the table. Talk about cinematic. This is it. This chapter is it. And so he lands on the table and he's like walking through all the plates. And everything is building up to this moment where he's about to tip the wine onto Cassius's lap. Does it, and then Cassius explodes up at him, right? Yeah, we're all losing it. Everybody loses it.
It's very pro wrestling.
Oh my God. It is so, you're absolutely right. I didn't think of that. And it is.
Because you know what's
It is
coming,
all theater.
but you're like begging for it. And
Hit him with the chair. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so true. And then I want to talk about a couple of things. So we are introduced truly first time to razors and aegises. Razors being the flexible sword and aegises being the blue pulse shield that goes on people's forearms.
Oh,
I feel like
That
I've
you
never
all
heard that
remember?
word before.
I know. I was like, what is
I've heard of a pulse shield, an aegis.
I think that's the
Aegis. Yeah.
actual terminology for it. No.
Okay.
What they,
I will
they call it.
you know what? I'm going to do my own research. You continue.
All right.
I need to
Talk to us
educate
in the
myself.
mention it in the comments if you know what an aegis is. Okay, and then we're like this whole cinematic aspect is split into parts, and so then we have this very private moment with Mustang, which all of you are probably interested in, and I'm like, whatever. And then you don't remember this?
Craig, your boy book is showing.
No, wait a second. We got to talk about this.
No, I
No. There is it's not that one. It's not that private. Two, it's like such a great scene too. Like
yeah.
it's
Did we just,
it's the scene where
float?
Mustang's basically. This is where she's telling him like, "I had an
Oh,
idiot."
Mustang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And we just floated over the Carnus conversation, or we talked about that last time?
I think we talked about that
Remind
last
us.
time. Harness.
We did. Okay.
I
That
thought.
was
That was part
Yeah.
okay. Good. Sorry.
one.
Please continue.
Part
It's
1B.
early. Go ahead.
Mustang comes over and says, "You're a pawn now, and you're a trophy, right?" And Darrow's so dramatic, and his feelings are hurt. Anyway,
Can we pause and say I love the idea of Darrow being a trophy husband?
which he would be.
He would
He
be.
so is. Just stand there and look pretty, Darrow. Like,
Exactly.
Mustang's got this under control.
Yeah,
So
he's very
anyway,
good.
fighting, dueling. When you've been sleeping, I've been training.
Yeah. On that note, you want to talk about suspense and build up. Let's talk about payoff. I think the whole duel is great. Like you start off. I won't say Darrow's getting his ass kicked, but he's definitely not like doing great. And just the flip to the like learning we trained with Warren. And the first time I read it, I was absolutely like, what? Like it was so like unexpected. And then the second time I read it, you can see the like all the pieces that he's like basically slapping you in the face with it the whole way.
Yeah.
And it's still so cool. Even
It's still
knowing
good.
it's coming, it's still like, oh, that is even better than I remembered. Just because it's so well set up, and the way Darrow lets everyone know is so perfectly melodramatic.
Yeah.
and it works.
It's the Darrow way.
I love it. The Darrow and Cassius has like this. He's winning. He's like, you've been practicing, right?
Mhm.
I want to talk about because I think we mentioned this in the spoiler episode 1,000 episodes ago. What's so cool to me about Razor fights is that there are moves per set, right? And so if you're good, you can do 5 moves a set. And if you're incredible, you can do 6, 7. And then if you're like a master, you can do 8 or 9. And so here, Cassius is doing 7 moves a set, which is nuts, right? Like normal humans couldn't keep up with how fast Blade is moving. And we actually get into this more in book 4, where it's described in more detail. But I love and you'd have to be a gold in order to fight this way and in order to respond this fast. And like, I don't know. It's something about that. It's a boy book.
No, that's pretty cool.
I love
Speaking of boy book, can we talk about like a low of this part, which like there aren't many, but
At your own risk. I'm just
yeah,
kidding. Go
the
ahead.
whole Cassius talking to Darrow beforehand and trying to be like, oh yeah, I've been with Mustang. It's like, ew. Very ew, and also there's very much boy book right there. Like, okay. That part I was like, okay.
And that's
Yeah,
the closest that Pierce gets to a sex scene.
Maybe
Just
what helps
unfortunate.
me with that, although I'm still deciding whether it's heavy-handed enough, is the payoff we get later of Mustang being like, "You're an idiot. I had it under control." Like, I
Yeah.
think that there's enough transparency in the text that shows that Darrow is being stupid about that whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
even later on in the part we'll discuss in the next episode, I think, is when it kind of comes out where he's like, "All right, I knew she had a plan." And then he still goes,
Yeah.
"But she must have felt something." And it's like, no, shut up. It's not till later through a conversation that you get her point of view.
Yeah.
But I do think that there's enough there that it's like a very obvious taunt and not a very highly skilled one from Cassius. But it's funny because it's so like bald faced and it's still provoking Darrow, who is just clearly so like bent out of shape about this imaginary thing.
And I think I know the scene you're talking about later, and I have a feeling it's a scene Craig might not be a fan of, but I also feel like it's
Well, that's because
very
Mustang's in it. He doesn't like Mustang.
yeah, and it's also
Oh.
but I think it's also very important for both of their character development, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's actually kind of a turning point of the entire series is that scene later, which we'll get into in another
Yeah.
episode.
We'll get to it.
But like
How
for as
about
much as
the
this one is,
Yeah, how about the ensuing fight? How did we like the fight scene? I love being like seeing everybody in the fray. I think that's
Yeah,
fun.
the throwback to people was fun.
Before we get to that, I do want to talk about that. We got to get to Octavia's blunder, I think.
Okay, discuss it.
Yeah.
Liz, how do you feel about Octavia stopping the fight?
Well, I think like that was a very showed her favoritism. It showed that like she liked the ballooners. And I think it for Darrow, it cemented what he thought he understood from his conversation with um Marcus? Bardus? Cassius is what
Carnus.
Carnus. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's
How can you forget the name Carnus for this
Carnus.
man?
I know.
Marcus, he wishes.
But I do think like that cement like I think like once he stopped the fight, he realized like Darrow at least realized how much they were in cahoots. And so I think that's when the like fun at 6 dinner time, I think that like was when it clicked that like, oh, shit was gonna go down. I think like she definitely made a mistake. But honestly, to be fair, I mean she couldn't exactly let Cassius get killed. That's her
I think she
ally.
yeah, I feel like this is for all the times we talk about mistakes Darrow makes and how I argued that he was like forced into those and he had to do those. I think you can make the same argument here for Octavia. I don't think she really had much of a choice given the position she put herself in. I think her mistake was putting herself in this
Yeah,
position to begin with and
100%.
not playing both sides.
They should
But-
have
Yeah,
known
she
Darrow
knew
would
that they were
have.
gonna.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sam?
Sorry,
And
yeah,
also, like, you couldn't, like, you had put the Augustus house in this position. You had to see it through that way with them in that position. If you let up now and you let them gain this power, it would only.
we talk about this moment real quick. It's kind of like we're doing an Uncle Neril watch. Can we do like a Telemanus watch?
I would love a Telemanus watch.
Because this is the first time we get Pax, right?
Mm-hmm.
In part 1, he's dead. But this is our first intro to Daxo and Cavax.
Mhm.
And who said the thing about them being the best fictional?
that was
the best
all of us.
fictional.
I think we all agree.
Yeah.
on that.
Maybe it was all of us, but
Since
I
the
have,
Weasleys and Harry Potter, right? Like, they're so good. And then shout out Tim Gerard Reynolds, the voices for both Daxo and Cavax. Incredible. So this is the first time we see Cavax and it's like, perfidy! This reeks of perfidy, you know?
Oh my God, yes. We also need, for sure, a Sophocles
I
watch.
also just want to
Sophocles.
mention that there were 2 June references in this chapter.
No,
Yes.
were there?
Yes.
No, there
Yep.
weren't. Were there really?
Yep. When Darrow was talking to Cassius, he remembers, he's like, oh, this reminds me of when we were back at the Institute and I had just stolen their chef from House Minerva.
No way.
Yeah, it is.
I do
Liz,
remember
kudos.
that.
Yeah.
I didn't register it immediately as
It's
a
on
June
page
reference, but I
100.
do
Yeah.
validate.
Oh,
Whoa.
yeah. It was like we shared food and raced that first day at the Institute, stormed House Minerva together, how he laughed when I stole their cook and severed their standard. So that was the first one. And then she's mentioned later again when Sever's like, oh, is it like when you stole the cook? I'm like, okay.
We are
Come on,
so ahead of
Pierce.
our time,
Pierce,
you
you're
guys.
laying those breadcrumbs.
It is very high
She's
school,
coming
isn't it?
back. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
guys, but
But-
what have you done for me lately? Like, really?
Yeah.
How many
I
sandwiches
will,
have you made for me? Sorry, that was it.
I will co-sign on a Telemanus watch, particularly in the next part that we're going to discuss
Oh,
after this
yeah.
episode, because it's very Telemanus heavy, and I love every second of it.
Mhm.
But I will insist upon calling it a Telemanus scope.
That's I approve.
Okay,
Accepted.
we can.
Telemanoscope.
Yeah. So we all agree. It is law.
It's decided.
It's law. And so anyway, back to Octavia. She makes a mistake of putting herself above Golds, right? Which is allegedly what you can't do. You declare rule at your own peril. And so
And I think that's part of the thing is she's been doing that, right? And so it's not that this one is the mistake. It's just this is the one that made it like plain and obvious to everyone else. But she's been doing that, and that's where she was always destined potentially for this end.
Yeah, I think it's because she said it, like, right? Like, no
Yeah.
one had, like, I mean, she may have been doing it, but she hadn't, like, just said it so blatantly in front of all of them. And so, yeah. But I'm excited for the lie detector test that we'll talk about later.
That's quite good.
Yeah.
It's quite good.
But-
To close out this small fight scene before we get to the big fight scene, we have the final moment where Darrow's like, "You will not take what is mine." He runs towards Cassius. Cassius expects him to like dodge or feint. He doesn't. He leaps, swings his razor over his head, wraps it around the arm of Cassius, and then like cuts off his arm. And everybody goes silent.
that.
So
But,
cool.
Yeah.
And he doesn't move after he does it, right? He's just
Yeah. Like superhero pose.
like superhero pose. Yeah. Which is epic. Kudos, Pierce, on that part. Loved it.
I feel like that it might be one of my favorite sword fights in all of written fiction. Honestly,
Yeah,
like
I agree.
if we're talking about great, I'm trying to remember ones that are on that level in like written fiction. It makes me think of lightsaber duels also, but like on a different level. I can't even think of one in Star Wars that is on this level. Like,
Clearly, you
from the
haven't watched
movie.
Maul yet.
Oh,
Maul is full
Shout
of
out.
great
Sam's
tools.
like,
Shout
is it?
out.
Is it?
Oh my god, the fight scenes in Maul are like a next level for Star Wars. You got to get on
Oh,
Maul.
thank God. Let's go.
Sidebar. So the fight scene in episode 1, Phantom Menace,
Oh, yeah.
between Obi-Wan and Maul.
Mm-hmm.
Kiss.
They're close, Liz.
Yeah, wait, Liz, have you seen Star Wars?
I have, but so
All right.
long ago, I don't even remember.
We need to fix that. But
Oh, well, this is going to turn into a Star Wars podcast, but I'm
Yeah,
pretty
it's a
sure there
Star
are like
Wars
20
podcast.
Well, I
of
guess
those.
I'll have to
Anyway,
just,
you're
like,
right.
watch and read.
is an epic. I also cannot think of a better sword fighting scene.
I will say that where I'm at as far as I am like halfway through Dark Age,
Wait,
nothing
you can't say this. Mark it.
No, I'm not. I've already marked this. Nothing that I have read so far tops this
Yeah.
Razor duel.
There are some moments,
It was a good duel.
Well,
and
that's
then,
for another podcast.
yeah.
but that's for another pod.
And then they're
We're
like,
gonna have to do
all
like
right.
We gotta
duel
move
watch.
off this
Yes.
scene though, because we got a lot
Oh,
of.
right.
I know we do, but
Okay,
wait,
so
there's
then
more.
the main, okay.
But wait,
There's more.
Wait, Tactus.
Yes.
Circle dissolves, right? And we've been going back and forth about like, is Tactus a friend? Is he not? Like, what's going on? Tactus, of everybody in the whole room, is the first to sprint and help
Yeah.
Darrow.
But is that just because he likes chaos?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
he says, maybe, but Darrow's like, I hear my friend's war howl, right? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know, guys. I'm fully Tactus is a good guy.
In
And
this moment.
he's a friend, you know, and like he whiffle waffles, but he does like Darrow. He is a friend of Darrow.
Is he?
Yeah,
Okay.
100%.
Has some brother issues.
Well,
and I
yeah,
think
his
that
brother, I think that's just
muddies the water
Yeah.
significantly.
He's got
Oh,
quite a
and
bit of
then let's
issues
not
that muddy the
forget
water.
Lado, R.I.P.
Leto.
Leto.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's also the manner in which he dies.
Yes.
Yes. And the quote that Julian said to Darrow down in the depths in the bar, where he's like, I'm not a
Adrius.
poisoner.
Oh,
Adrius.
What did I say?
Adrius.
Adrian.
You said Julian, R.I.P.
I rip Julian. I mean Adrius. Adrius is like, I'm not a poisoner. And then there's a little blow dart action.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do we
and then
feel
he's
about
gone.
it, though?
I mean,
Oh,
I
Well,
couldn't
all right,
remember
I guess
him.
that's it. That's
I
it for
feel
the
like
pod.
is what's the difference between poison and venom? That might be a venom attack, not a poison attack.
I
So,
don't think we're splitting hairs that
Yeah.
closely.
if I feel like Adrius is probably one who really prides himself on being technically correct.
Well, I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah. All right.
It's so cool that Leto's about to beat Karnas.
I know.
Yeah.
you know?
And we like Leto. I mean, we have no
Yes.
reason not to.
No
so
reason
it's
not
a
to
bummer
like him.
He's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought it was
yeah.
interesting, and Darren doesn't bring it up to to Adrius that he sees him kill Leto. I don't know if he saw Darrow see him, but it's not. They don't talk about it. It's just like, all right, well, he fell to Karnas. Yeah, poor Nero.
Just want to something that doesn't get rubbed in enough later on is Cassius lost to a red. I wonder how he felt when the whole car. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but it particularly is important to this scene. I wonder how Cassius felt when the whole carving scene came out and they all found out Darrow was a red. And it's like you got your ass kicked by this guy.
I don't know if he resents him. I don't think he does.
I don't think he does either, but
I think it's a respect thing. Like,
I think we're gonna move into spoiler territory if we
Yeah.
go too
okay,
far,
let's
though,
not
'cause
move.
a lot of this comes into like play later.
Thank you,
So
Sam.
Yeah.
You're
the
right.
dynamics,
Nick.
I mean, specifically.
what did I do?
I do
Nothing.
love how he tries to help Mustang, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like,
Oh,
go."
right. Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with
She's
you?
like,
What is
protect
your
my
problem?
father, protect the governor. Yeah.
And he says as he's going, like, she probably doesn't need help, but I'm gonna go help her anyway. She's like, get out of
Yeah.
here. What is your damage?
Like, you're
Yeah.
making things
love
worse for me, sir.
So now in the next chapter, we get this moment where they're fleeing from the gala, right? There's this odd moment, which I think is a sort of summary of how bad gold can be, where the Falth house is chasing down another house and kills everybody. And that gets brought up. I don't remember when, but Falth comes up again, deep cut, later on in the series. There's some retribution to be had. But anyway, the moment where they like kill an entire family is
I'm
very much a
I think
gold
it
thing.
makes sense though, yeah, because they all hold on to just their nemesis. They're fighting for generations of a time. So it's like if you don't kill the whole family, it's a matter of time before they come back and kill you. So I can see why they always do that because they all live for so long and they have such like, yeah, because even Darrow is like, not Darrow, Severo is like, oh, kill, later. He's telling Darrow, like, just kill this kid. It's gonna come back later to bite you. And we see it happen. So I guess I can see how they would just erase a whole family.
I guess. I mean, it makes sense from a political awful gold perspective
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
What a great opportunity.
I think this is also a good, like, I'm feeling us being nudged to stuff happening in the second trilogy, right? Repeatedly. And I think this is a good time to bring up. I feel like this is where Pierce is kind of like, this is where it really starts to open up. And it's like the political intrigue, all of it starts to become intertwined and much more just bigger scale, right? And I think that's awesome.
It is awesome. I want to do another, like, real quick before I forget. Lilith is mentioned here in this running away scene. She is Lilith Alfalth. And so she tries to kill Tactus, and everybody in her group dies except her, and she escapes.
Yeah.
Deep cut.
Do you think
Reference,
she
anyway.
and the Jackal were already in touch, or was this their first reunion?
That's a good question. I don't know.
It's a great question. I feel like the Jackal is too crafty and controlling to have ever like let her go. Like I would just imagine that she's henchman for life post high
High
school.
school. And that's wild. Yeah.
But
I
that's
just wanna-
just my thought. Maybe not.
I just want to, I could be wrong about this. I don't think she is technically House Falth. I think House Falth is the one who picked her in the Institute. I think she's technically some other family. I don't know if that matters at all, but
Oh, like sort of like Darrow with
I don't know either.
Theogostus.
and maybe
Yeah.
I don't know enough yet.
I don't know.
There's a chance I don't know enough yet.
No, I don't know. I think you know enough.
Okay. But either way, I feel like they were probably in touch,
Yeah.
honestly, the whole time. Just for without going, I'm just gonna leave it here and say they're probably in touch and come back to this.
Yeah.
So we move on. What comes next?
Fitchner.
Remind me.
Fitchner. Thump, thump, thump. Thump, thump, thump.
Yeah.
Like all the obsidians
They,
are
drop
falling from the
in.
sky. And
Oh,
then
yeah, 'cause-
Fitchner does his cool superhero pose. And he looks so incredible. And then his helmet comes back. And everybody's like, oh, it's Fitchner.
He is now a knight, though.
He is a knight, a rage knight. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very
And
cool,
so is
actually.
this the part where he takes Darrow to the throne room?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. My notes are a little
Yes.
messy in this area, but we're coming up on one of my favorite quotes. But he's already in the throne room at that point. So does anybody have anything to say before he gets to that
No.
area? Okay.
I do not.
So
I think Craig set
As
us up perfectly. Superhero
Liz
pose.
kind of
all fit together.
elucidated. He
Elucidated.
goes into the he goes into the room. Octavia's there. She's got this box. She tells Darrow to put his hand in a box, and she
What's
says,
in the
"Bitch."
box?
Yeah, she says that she asked Fitchner to do the same thing, and Fitchner said, And she's like, "What did you tell me, Fitchner?" And he's like, "I told you to stick the box up your cooch. I'm not an idiot." Like, excellent use of the word cooch.
Yeah.
From Fitchner.
Also,
Fitchner has all the best lines.
He does have really good lines.
also foreshadowing. We're doing like Narrow Watch, all those other watches. This is an excellent foreshadow watch.
Please
Asking
describe.
asking Fitchner what's in the box.
Oh.
Oh.
Well.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Mark it.
I also want to shout out real quick. We only know 2 Rage Knights the entire time, right? The entire series. There are only 2. It's Lauren and Fitchner, right?
Wait,
Does
what about
Cassius not?
He's
Cassius?
the Morning Knight.
A morning night.
And then what about the Fear Knight?
The Fear Knight is not the Rage Knight.
All together.
Oh yeah, Craig. He said Rage
Fear and Rage are
Night.
different. So we don't have
Fear
time
and
for this
Rage are
today,
different.
but I would love a rundown on what's up with
Yes.
the night stuff.
Yes,
I don't
definitely.
really get it.
I like
have
it a
very
lot.
loose handle on it.
Mhm.
Maybe that should be its own. Let's
Yeah.
put that either in the grab
A
bag or
night
make it its own
watch?
I think
episode.
I think
I need a full explanation, not a watch. I
Yeah.
need like you to walk me through it like I'm a child.
Okay.
And I think it'll be good after because we see like the love night and the other night like in book 4, I think, or so. So maybe after that book would be a good.
Yeah. Well, probably after book 3 we could do it.
Okay.
Yes.
Like the scene with the box and the snakes.
Yes. I was like, that was a very
The
smart
scorpion
Darrow
snakes?
move. As he like was answering the question, because like when he realized Aja could monitor his heart rate, he was able to then get a better control of it. And I thought it was like smart of him, right, to continue it even after Mustang walked in. But it was, yeah, I liked it, especially that
This
part.
is
Very
the
clever.
the oracles, right?
Yeah.
The Oracles.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
love it. What a cool name, Pierce.
So cool.
They're
And I
great.
do love
Really
when
cool.
Mustang walks in and she's like on her data pad. Anytime, like I will watch Mustang in action anytime. Anytime.
Yeah.
It is like comforting to me and beautiful. Like I just love her talking shop. I would just listen to
I feel like we should also, we're talking about the meeting in the throne room. We should also take a second here to talk about how we're introduced to the fact that Lysander is related to Lorne for the first
Right.
time here.
Mm-hmm. It's the
So-
first time we meet him as a character.
Yeah, I think he's mentioned in passing, but now we meet him. And I
Yeah.
still, to this day, cannot get the image of the Moon Door Kid from Game of Thrones out of my head when I think of Lysander.
Oh,
Robin.
I don't.
Robin, that's it.
Yeah.
Robin.
No,
good.
they are so different. They're like, but for some reason, that
They're
is
very
the
different.
only that's what my brain has connected him to.
I think of here's Lysander is a homeschooled kid, you know?
Yeah,
No offense to the homeschoolers out there. He's just super smart, way older than his age would suggest. And just like so much so that it's a little awkward, right? So anyway, shout out to all the homeschooled kids and adults out there. We're gonna have to cut this part out.
No,
Go ahead.
Well, I
continue,
think
Craig.
he's homeschooled and he's also an only child. So it's sort of like the best
Oh.
of both worlds. So it's like really just like
best of both worlds.
you know? So he really is just like in his own world. Like the universe truly rotates around him. I mean, he does go through some stuff, like he's dealing with stuff that he doesn't even realize, and we get that later. But as an introduction, I thought I'm really trying to put my feelings of Lysander aside as I'm rereading it and just like trying to take him on as a just like general basic character. And so this introduction, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he's just like a kid there. Like he didn't really do much for me, but
Yeah, I think you're meant maybe to think he's kind of cute because he thinks Darrow's some big hero.
Oh, right, that's
And
true.
he's precocious, you know that. And then every so often he'll say something like very chilling because he's like, a rich gold princeling. So
Right.
it's that combo is a bit unsettling.
Yeah.
How do we end this part? We've split this into 2.
We end
Yeah, so
with
this
the
part
escape.
ends.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, because after the
Real quick, before we move on, real quick about a question about the oracles, which because I love this scene. I think Darrow does a great job of playing the game. I think he asks some smart questions that are getting good information that he then uses later, like great Chekhov's gun right there. but also him not falling into any traps. The question I have is, we hear that these oracles are like pit vipers, like pit viper scorpions. Is there any chance they wouldn't have worked on Darrow?
I think they're not really, though. They're just carved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Entirely unique creatures.
Because, I mean, we see the fact that Darrow was bitten by a pit viper before has come into play, and I'm just curious if there's any chance that would have could have come into play with this. But
well, like, it does come into play in a way because Aja, who is like a super gold, can hear how slow Darrow's heart is beating.
Right.
Yeah,
29 beats per minute
Is his resting,
is his resting heart rate.
Isn't
So we sort of get a reference.
Isn't there a point where too slow is bad?
Right? It's like,
Yeah,
are you
but he's a
alive?
gold.
Yeah.
One of the questions, it did get close to like biting him. It was like semantics, but it got pretty close because he was like, it tightened around his arm and was like perking up, but he clarified sort of like the answer.
This is where,
yeah.
Well, this is where Octavia says, "Why did you sing Persephone's
Yes.
song?"
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like that's really
We were
important.
wondering about that last book.
Yeah.
I was like, why is he just doing this, and how does this have no ramifications?
Yeah.
But it came up, and I guess we're
It is
past
the
it now.
saddest song I've ever heard.
Yeah.
A little weak. But
It's a weak answer. I would not have allowed him to get away with it if I were a teacher.
Like,
Yeah,
Not
for
acceptable.
Octavia.
I just love Les Mis.
Yeah, right.
Also in this scene, we find out we get confirmation that Octavia planned to kill the Augustus.
Yes.
family.
Which, bringing it back to Carnus's conversation with Darrow, is where he was like, "I hear the sixth course will be
Right.
to die for," right?
Mhm.
so ominous.
Yeah, it's so good. Love Carnus.
I feel like this is a thing with these books where there are many lines that run this fine line of, is it cheesy or is it cool?
Right.
I think everyone else would think it's cheesy. And I'm like,
I mean-
whoa.
No, I completely agree with that statement, Nick.
Like, there's 100% a Bye Felicia later. That one we'll get into. And,
That's on purpose, though.
I mean, yeah.
Wait, where's
But yeah,
when
it's
is that?
Oh,
That's
in
not in
Morning
this book.
Star.
Okay.
That's in
Yeah, it's in
Morning Star.
my bad. I jumped ahead. But there are like a couple other definitely purposeful pop culture references. But then also lines like this where it's like, is it cheesy or is it cool?
I think it's worth mentioning when he does say, or when they do reveal the plan that they're gonna, kill all the Augustuses. Mustang is there, and
Yes.
she seemingly takes it personally. And all that time she's crunching away at her data pad, acting all like,
Aloof.
nonchalant and aloof. She's very much being like purposefully listening in and calculating her plans and all
And
of
she
that.
wears
so.
the ring to let Darrow know she's like, okay, I'm in on your plan. I'm with it. Let's do it. Yeah.
And then Darrow goes to his chambers, and there's something I want to discuss there. I know time is limited on this
The pink?
podcast, but I feel like this is important.
Oh.
Not the pink. It's the description of his room, page 149. Sauna and a massage parlor adjacent to a pleasure chamber. Okay. But then there's also a small swimming pool and a bed. What is the pleasure chamber for? Like, I mean, I know what it's for, but like, what's going on in there? Is it like a Red Room style, 50
Ooh.
Shades of Grey situation?
Good reference.
Like, do golds not have sex in beds if they're rich enough? Like, what's the pleasure chamber?
A great question. I did not notice that.
Yeah.
And to have a bed,
They've got everything.
sauna,
There's a
a massage
communication
parlor,
chair.
and
A small
like,
swimming
it's not like a
pool.
This just has it all.
So
It's got an
well,
office.
I want to know what's in
Wow.
there.
And 50
like,
million
what's-
credit. Wow. They really
Yeah,
just
$50 million credit stipend.
Yeah. So anyway, I
Oh.
don't know what's going on in the pleasure chamber. But
And
I want to
an
know.
additional 10 million to populate my harem.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe the harem lives in the pleasure chamber.
Oh, that seems unlikely.
That's so helpful. You think it's unlikely?
Doesn't
Yeah,
seem
you don't want
big
to see
enough.
you don't want to see your pleasure chamber attendees all the time. This is your
You
private
have to
space.
Go into the pleasure chamber in order to
Oh,
see
I
them.
see. And they're just
Oh,
hanging
they just
out.
hang-
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
they just
Yeah, I take
rotate
that
in
as
and
it is.
out
Oh,
of
you're right.
bed. I guess.
Sure.
You guys, that's so helpful because that
You're
was
right.
really bugging me. I was wondering what
Yeah.
the setup was in there. Why
You're
you
right.
need that specifically.
I'm glad we
Okay.
figured this part out.
Yeah, and then blah blah, like several of the howlers like talk through the window. And yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, but so cool.
And
we
then
love
there's, like,
we love
basically
a
uproar.
Yeah.
It
That
is
is really
But-
cool.
credit credit to the three of you when you were like, Mustang has a plan. Severo coming back is part of Mustang's plan.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I might have been a little bit wrong, my opinion on Mustang, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
Already backtracking. We're only at the beginning of book 2. Held this strong opinion for very
I know.
long, but now that
That's
it's
true. Well,
hold his feet
we'll
to the
see.
fire.
No, she comes back to like being disappointing in a couple of.
But this is not that, because this is
No.
a very like complicated plan that like logistically that she's worked out.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
that's true.
she kidnapped Lysander and somehow gave him to the Howlers, and yeah, they got all broken.
And who messes that up, Craig?
Yep.
I don't know.
Who sets up a great plan and who messes it up, Craig?
Well, I think he fixes it too.
Does he?
Does he?
Fixes it.
Does he?
But Severo and his friends arrive, and again, another cinematic moment. Literally, lightning is like striking outside, right?
Mhm.
And they're floating in the darkness with their capes. I think they have capes on.
We're just
Very
gonna
cool.
assume they have capes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. There's a scene in Morningstar that I sometimes get this scene confused with. And I have to remember it's not the same scene.
No.
Yeah.
But it was
there's a similar escape scene in Morningstar.
Right.
I think we do have a first mention of Per Aspera ad Astra. Well, at least
Ooh.
since the first Darrow usage.
Where?
155. He says it to Severo. They're like saying Latin back and forth, and then Severo says like, crude stuff in Latin back.
Yeah.
But that
yeah.
comes in later. Through what does it mean? Through struggle,
Challenges to the stars.
Literally, isn't it like from thorns to stars?
I think I don't
Through
know.
the thorns to the stars.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Sever repeats it in
might be-
English right
yeah.
after. Yeah.
It might not be a literal translation. You're right, but it's still that was the way I had remembered it.
You fancy little fart.
So then we get to another really cool scene where they're trying to find the Augustus family. And so they're sneaking around on the grounds of the palace. It's lightning and thundering and storming outside. They go into a building, and then Darrow's like, everybody quiet. And then he jumps down, 12 flights of steps through the center. And like
pops
does
through
like
It's like chaos.
like a whirly twirly with razor to like kill everybody around him. And it's just like, of course he does, only Darrow. He's doing the most.
Before he really gets into the fray here, he's doing some inner thought, and we have another narrow watch. Meow, meow, meow,
Ooh.
meow, meow. And this is actually a really juicy one, because I think we'll talk about this later when we talk about like Darrow and his impulsivity. So I'll read it. We don't have to discuss too much, but just know we'll probably come back to this theme. So, opening of chapter 18, entitled Bloodstains, literally the first sentence is actually about his father. Father once told me that a helldiver can never stop. You stop and the drill can jam. The fuel burns too quickly. The quota might be missed. You never stop. Just shift drills if the friction gets too hot. Caution comes second. Use your inertia, your momentum. That is why we dance. Transfer movement into more movement. Uncle Neril always told me to stop. He was wrong. Blew so many drill bits because of him. Then again, Neril lived longer than my father, so maybe he has a point. I loved that one because, like, yeah, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like, if the point is to drill better for the society,
Right.
his dad's right. And if the point is to survive, Uncle Neril is right.
Mm.
And Darrow is so impulsive and constantly moving from like one thing to the other. And he just sometimes it seems binds himself, in my opinion, into like worse and worse constraints. And I wonder what would happen sometimes if he would take a pause, like
Yeah.
Uncle Neril told him to. So anyway, we can move from there.
Then we get through all the fun fight scenes in the basement of the Augustus Manor and come out with that confrontation with Aja. You've got a whole bunch of people under the pool. What's going to happen? There's a standoff, and we have a bag.
Yeah.
What's in the bag? What's in the gory damn bag?
I also like how Aja is just like, yeah, Darrow, just go back to your room. This doesn't concern
Yeah.
you. Like, okay.
Aja is such a great villain.
She's so cool, and she's peak gold, which is saying a lot among peak golds, right? Even Darrow is no match at this moment, right? She is the single, maybe arguably In fact, for sure, more so than Lorne. Aja
Mhm.
is the greatest of all the greatest, the GOAT of golds and fighting and physicality.
What's Lorne's quote? Never
one
fight a
point-
river and never fight Aja Algremis.
Yeah,
or
that's
something
right.
like that.
What a
Yeah,
quote,
I was
dude.
gonna
Good
say,
reference.
They talk about that next, and they're like, Lorne wouldn't even. Actually, it's Nero who says it to Darrow. He's like, Lorne wouldn't even have fought Aja. Like, you're good,
Yeah.
bud.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is crazy.
And I mean, like, we
Yeah.
see that throughout. Like, yeah, I think it's pretty clear, like, Aja is the greatest fighter in the entire series.
Yeah.
Maybe Darrow comes close, but even still, at least in the first trilogy, it takes how many of them to ultimately fight her?
Yeah. Imagine.
So we aren't fighting Aja, but we're gonna
No, we're
like
gonna
bargain with her. And
yeah.
there's this really eerie scene where like Octavia speaks through Aja.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Whoa. I forgot about
Creepy.
That
that.
was weird. Yeah.
Creepy. But she just has like an earpiece,
Yeah,
right?
and I guess she's
She
just
does,
It's
but,
not
like,
like
the tone.
regurgitating.
the
Yeah, like
tone.
Anyway, what's in the bag?
What's in the bag? Yeah, Lysander, and he's got like a silk scarf tied around his face,
Yeah.
you know, and Aja's like, he's just a boy, and Lysander, in his again very homeschooled way, is like, we're all playing a game, Aja. You know, you're part of it. I'm part of
That
it.
Lysander voice is your best voice.
Yeah, we're going to need a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like it's. So anyway, he's an odd kid, but he knows the rules of the game because he watches Octavia every single day
yeah.
play this odd game of power and tit for tat. And so then everybody starts following Darrow's orders.
And then Quinn gets beat.
Oh, whoa, skipping ahead.
Are we?
I
Isn't
think
it?
that's-
No, it's right after.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
guess
this
because
is really
Darrow's
sad.
like, I'm going to kill him if you don't let them all up from under the pool or whatever. And then they all come flying up, and Aja just like snatches Quinn out of the air, right?
Yeah. And punches her armored fist on bone 4 times before I can
Oof.
even blink.
Yeah. And then the jackal.
Aja backs away, watching me with a smile. Ugh.
Yeah. And so what happens though, this is interesting, is that Darrow knows she's doing this to try to provoke him and to drop Lysander or, you know,
Mhm.
literally or figuratively. And so it's the jackal who he looks back, tears out from their getaway car and is the one who picks up Quinn
Yeah.
and brings her
Mhm.
back
Just-
in because she's not dead. She's just
Mhm.
very, very injured. And so that's
Mm.
where we leave off
Yeah.
in this part.
And he's the smartest of them without a yellow bean on board to try to save her.
That's
Which-
next chapter. And dare I say, I was attracted to the jackal in that.
Ew,
Yeah. No,
Sam.
wait.
Should we
Me
cover it
too.
next? Should we rate
Yeah,
next
that's
episode?
next episode.
Next
Let's
episode?
rate it.
Is
Let's
that
rate
a
it.
teaser or what?
Whoa.
We lost our whole audience. They are not coming
Yeah.
back to hear the end of that.
No, there's a lot to be said for that, though. You're absolutely right. I agree with you.
Oh, Sam's just attracted to bad boys.
Apparently, Sam.
So not.
Yeah, the worst.
I mean, come on. Earlier
Discuss it.
you were
Can we
you were
rate the chapter? This is
Yeah,
our
let's
favorite.
rate
Is
it.
everyone giving it a 5?
5 out of 5.
Oh,
for
yeah.
me.
Yeah,
100%.
it's a really good chapter.
as someone who has argued the semantics of a rating system this entire time, it's a 5.
Yeah, this is a 5. This is what we've been waiting for. So, yeah, 5 out of 5. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah.
I guess I'll see you guys in a
See
whole
you.
week.
Yeah. See you
We'll
next
see you in a week.
episode.
Have a great week.
Bye.
Have a great week, y'all. Bye.
That's not ominous at all. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed these chapters as much as we did. Join us next week as the escape continues. The question of whether this is Nero's journey or Darrow's gets a tad messy, and the crew we grow to love starts to take shape. If you're Pierce Brown or anyone else with thoughts, opinions, or grievances about our takes, you can email us at thehowlerbookclub@gmail.com or find us on Instagram at red, spelled R-E-A-D, Rising Book Club, at Red Rising Book Club. See you there.